to Beyond the Gate, our Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood podcast. I'm Megan.
And I'm Meg.
And today we are covering episode 27, Interlude Party, but we're doing things just a bit different.
Yes, this is more of a filler episode with a bunch of flashbacks to previous episodes. So we got some fun things planned. But first, I'll just give a quick summary of the episode. Visions of the past play out by a warming fire as Hohenheim reflects on the unavoidable follies of man, the pain that comes with a loving family, the hidden truths of alchemy, and the roots and results of war.
That's a pretty good explanation for a episode that didn't really give too much.
Honestly, that just sums up the whole episode.
Yeah. No, you know what? Watching it again, it was good. It was actually a very well done recap episode. It was more engaging than a lot of recap episodes I've seen. The only thing is, when we first watched it, I was just so annoyed that we had a recap episode right after, Ed finding Al in the door of truth and all that was happening, and I just wanted to see if he gets back to him safely.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was disappointing. But we're not going to talk about it in this episode. We'll release a bonus episode later this week, but there is a new intro for this episode.
And it's my favorite.
Yeah, that was one treat in this episode.
Yes.
All right. Honestly, I'll just go super quick through the episode and then we'll get to our bonus things. Basically, Hohenheim is drinking with a young version of Panako at a campfire, and there are just people dancing around the fire. We first get flashbacks of all the conflicts that Amestris has been a part of, like Ishval. Hugh's talking about all the different battles and Ed. And then Hohenheim talks about his family and Ed and Al, and then we get flashbacks of their human transmutation and them figuring out what the Philosopher's Stone is made of, and all that fun stuff, reliving the trauma. Always a blast. And then in between that flashback and the next one, or between those scenes and the next one, we see another version of Hohenheim talking to him, just saying that humans are just natural resources. And then we see the making of a Philosopher's Stone. We see Xerxes, and then the different human sacrifices, Ed and Al and Izumi. And basically, this other Hohenheim is humans are helpless and they're not worth anything except to be used. And Panako accuses Hohenheim about always knowing of the homunculi's plans, which we don't know if that's true or not yet. But then we see the flashback of all the scenes of all the homunculi and some of the fights they've been in. And after we see the homunculi, Panako is like, humans won't give up. We'll keep fighting. We're not gonna let the homunculi win. And then we see scenes of different people not giving up, like Ed and Al. And then something kind of creepy happens. We see the Hohenheim without his glasses. I think he's standing in the fire, and all the people are gone. Mm-hmm. And then he approaches Panako, and we see that Panako is Hohenheim underneath. And then
he peels off the mask, and it just reminded me of that scene in Captain America when Red Skull takes off his mask. Ugh.
Yeah, it's kind of gross. And then we also see Hohenheim has all these faces on him, like Envy does in his true form. So we get the sense that there is more to Hohenheim than we have been led to believe. We just, so far, all we've seen of him is that he's kind of a deadbeat dad,
and maybe even a shady underground controller of homunculi.
Yes, but could be more to him. And Hohenheim is kind of humans are weak. They're never gonna win. But then we see, I think it's a young version of Trisha.
Yes.
Talking to Hohenheim. and she tells him, we may be weak, but we will get stronger. And then we see very heartwarming scenes of people like taking care of each other and like not giving up. And then Hohenheim is thinking of his family, and he's like, well, even if humans are helpless, like you can fight for your family and fight for those people. Don't give up. Don't give up on humans, basically. And then he wakes up, and it turns out it was all a dream.
Of course it was.
Yes, those scenes always are. But that's basically like a brief summary of this episode.
Yep. And of course, this is not in the manga, and it's just kind of like the anime's way of, I don't know, mid-series break, getting people up to speed and rehashing what's happened so far. But something we did want to mention from the manga is a chapter focused on Hohenheim that the anime leaves out. And it's this kind of cool Wild West sort of looking scene where Hohenheim is on a stagecoach and he's traveling, and there are other people in the caravan with him, and they get held up. Like there's a robbery that happens on the roads. There are bandits coming after them, and Hohenheim, he really steps up and tries to protect everyone. But in the process, the bandits have guns and they shoot him multiple times. And yet he is not dead. He's riddled with holes, like bullet holes are all over his clothing, but he's still very much alive. And the authorities are able to catch the bandits, and they question Hohenheim, like, what happened? And everyone from the stagecoach is shocked, and all Hohenheim says is, I'm a monster.
Oh, that's so sad.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was also some. Yeah, I like that story. I remember reading it way back. That was a long time ago, but there's also some extra manga stuff that I wanted to talk about, and also there were in volume 12 there was a little interview of with the author, and she gave some interesting answers to some questions, so I thought I would read some of those. But one of the extras in volume 12 is Ling, and he has his anti-homunculus secret weapon. I love this one. I'll definitely be posting it. But it's basically him squirting first tangerine juice and then lemon juice in the Fuhrer's and then Gluttony's like eye in his stomach. And
actually, I think that's a recurring theme. Like they use that gag again in another 4-panel comic.
Yeah, I saw that one, and it's hilarious. Because he phrases and he like runs away laughing. Reminds me of that scene in that one episode. No, never mind. That he's screaming in that like scene. Right? Yeah, he's like no. But in this one, he's like ah.
Yeah, I can see that. I can see that.
Yeah. It's a little bit reminds me of that. And then I'm like my eyes.
Oh, I can't remember which volume it was, but another volume, at the end of them, she puts a little in memoriam thing and shows whoever died that scene floating up into heaven. And in one of the volumes, it's empty. It's like just the sky because no one died.
That's awesome. I don't remember that one.
That could be a later one. I read ahead, so
okay.
Forgive me if I'm being premature.
Yes. I guess that's the only really funny extra one that I wanted to share. But let me look at some of these extra questions. I mean, some questions from the author. First, somebody asked, when are the characters' birthdays? That's like a pretty common thing in a lot of mangas, like just a lot of shows in general. Like the characters' birthdays, and then
they usually give a lot of info.
Yeah, but she said that she doesn't know. She just hasn't decided. Except I think she said Ed was born in the winter, but apparently the winter can last up to 6 months. In northern Japan.
Sounds like the Midwest.
Yeah. So it's not very specific.
Yeah. Although that is kind of different because I've noticed that most shonen have the main character with a summer birthday.
Mm-hmm. Okay, and then another question is how come all your characters are so muscular? And she says, if they're too skinny, my poor characters will look like they're not being fed.
Spoken like
I
a true
love
farmer.
that. Yeah. There was another one that I really liked. Let me find it. Oh, okay. And we've kind of already mentioned this, but in the Full Metal world, are there holidays like Christmas and Valentine's Day? And she said, no, there aren't because Christianity doesn't exist in that world, and there aren't any conspiracies created by chocolate companies either. Yeah. Okay, I gotta find. There was one more that I really liked. Something about the women.
Women should be strong or something like that. I think that was her
Yeah,
quote.
yeah. I'm trying to find. Maybe it's the next page. Oh, okay, okay. So she says, "What did you do before you were a manga artist?" And she, as we already know, grew up on a farm, raised cows. And then, she said her family motto is "Those who don't work don't deserve to eat." So that's the reason there are so many working women in Full Metal, because
Mm,
she grew up working and she has a very good work ethic. And yeah, I just thought that was some interesting facts about the author and the characters as well.
nice. Yeah. Well, speaking of characters, we're just briefly going to mention like the growth thus far of specifically Ed, Alan, Winry. Like all of the characters are going through changes in character growth, but these three are actually adolescents, so it's a little easier to track growth as well as like physical maturity. So Al, well, obviously he doesn't have his body, so you can't really track maturity that way, but I have noticed that the voice actress is kind of coming into her own, and I'm not sure if she's intentionally making Al sound older, but to me, he sounds older throughout the whole series.
Yeah, I would agree. Like if you listen to like the first or second episode and then go back to the later episode, yeah, he sounds just more mature, more grown up.
Yeah. And
Um,
personality-wise, I think Al is less timid than he used to be. Like
mhm.
he was always just the strong, solid support to anyone who needs him, but he's definitely taking more action and like becoming a force in and of himself. Which could
Yeah,
be a little bit of Ed's influence, but also just his drive and determination coming through.
yeah, I like it. I mean, I think one key moment was when he like protects Riza
Yeah, yeah,
from lust.
yeah.
And he chews her out a little bit and he's like, I'm not gonna let anybody else get hurt.
Yes,
Um
I love that moment.
mhm,
That's the moment when you go, Al is awesome. Like he is
mhm.
not the secondary character. He is a main. He will always be a main.
Yeah, yeah, he's his own person in that, and I like that.
Yeah.
And I like that I like when, although it does make me sad when Ed and Al are separated, I also like when they're separated because then it really is like two main characters.
Yes,
Um,
they get to grow on their own.
yeah, and I think they definitely need that.
Yeah. Although you're right, parting is such sweet sorrow. Um,
Yeah,
but
and
then
I didn't notice how much they actually are separated
yeah,
throughout the show because they were separated.
when
Let's
the
see,
battle with Lust happened,
the
and
Battle of Lust, but
then
then also even earlier
the
when
fifth laboratory.
the Fifth Laboratory and the um when they fought Greed,
Mm-hmm. Yep.
um and
And
then
now,
and now they're also separated.
yeah,
So it's and yeah,
in the
we haven't seen it,
future.
but yeah, it will also happen in the future as well. I think yeah, it's
Yeah.
interesting.
And
Um,
now like mentioning that, now mentioning Ed, like he's grown up physically because it just
mhm,
look at a picture of him from episode 1 and then go to now. His face is less round and babyish, and
mhm,
he's a little bit more muscular. Like it's a little more apparent that he has muscle. He's always been kind of scrappy, but like now he's got like a little muscle tone to him. And if I'm not mistaken, he is taller.
Yeah, I think it's his height isn't as obvious. There was one scene, I think, when he was like with Winry, like later, that I was like, oh, I think he's
That's
actually
the one where
grown.
you know,
Yeah, I
but
think he's actually grown. No, even now, like, no, there was one like I think I maybe mentioned it in whatever episode it was, but
and you,
it
yeah,
like it looks like he's grown a little. Like
yes.
he's still shorter than Winry, but he's getting there.
He's trying to catch up,
Um,
yes.
yes.
Personality-wise, he will always be a hothead, and that's just who he is, but he's taking the time to, like, consider how his words would affect somebody before he speaks, especially with Winry.
Mm-hmm.
In a battle, not so much, but when it comes to, like, dealing with friends and family, he holds his tongue a little and kind of considers, like, should I say this, should I not?
Yeah, I think one awesome thing about Ed is that he has always cared about people and like you know, he never has wanted to hurt anybody, and I think that has
Yeah.
become even more apparent, especially after learning about the Philosopher's Stone and like what it's made of, and like just especially in this last episode when he had to use it,
And he was,
it
oh, that
he was
was,
so like respectful and like
yeah. I respect
like it.
people who take things like that into consideration, who know that life is hard for everybody, and they're like, well, what are your struggles, and how is what I'm doing affecting you?
Mm-hmm.
Or even like the comment he made about, oh, I gotta go back and fix the damage I caused during my fight with Scar, like that sort of thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah, and he also like just it's not really like a super huge focus of the show, but like his fighting skills, I think, have also improved. Just
Mm-hmm.
like not
Yeah.
so much that he's like gotten like stronger necessarily, which I think he has, but just like he thinks through his
His
actions
learning curve
more.
is very high. He was already
Yeah,
overpowered, but he's becoming more strategic.
yeah, yeah. And I like that, like, even though he's getting stronger, he's not unbeatable for
Yeah,
sure.
he's overcoming
Um,
challenges. And that's what I really appreciate about a story is like there are some stories where you can see their progress and you think, ah, the villain they faced in season one would not stand a chance against them now. It's too easy. But in this one, it's like all of the villains they face are worthy opponents, and sometimes they just make it out by the skin of their teeth. But maybe now, with what they learned, it would be easier if they faced them again. Maybe, but
mhm.
you don't know.
Yeah, and also just like thinking the only reason that they even like survive against the homunculi is because they're not trying to kill them, you
Right.
know. No, I mean, I don't know. Maybe at this point they could take one on and survive, but I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Uh, yeah, and then Winry, well, physically speaking, she's in this new outro, and she does look older. Like her face too isn't as round. And I
Mhm.
think I'm not sure if her hair really changes because it was always really, really long where we're at. She she looks. How do I phrase this?
I know what you're trying to say. She
Yes,
just her she just looks older
yes.
all
And I
around.
know this, I'll probably mention this later too, but in future episodes, especially with the next arc coming up, I noticed that her body type is more full. Like
Yeah, yeah,
when a woman
it's like
matures,
more defined.
there's more,
Yeah.
yeah, there's more definition, exactly. And she's got like this, you know how she was talking about Ed's shoulders looked more broad? Well, hers look more, not broad, because a lady doesn't really have broad shoulders necessarily, unless you're a swimmer.
Thanks.
Sorry,
I'm just
sorry.
kidding. No,
I'm
I don't care.
teasing. That was the runner and me being snippy. But anyway, she looks like her posture just set. Like she looks more confident.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
I think personality wise for her, she's becoming more patient. She doesn't get as
Mhm.
mad at Ed anymore, and she's like really trying to hone her skills and be responsible and learn automail.
Mhm. Yeah, that's exactly what I was gonna say. Like she has very much grown. She's grown a lot in her profession, and like
Yeah.
she has, I think, has more confidence in it, and like the drive. I mean, she's always loved it, but like even more so now, she wants to like become the best.
Yes.
Um,
I really like that. She's only probably 16 by this point, but like 15 when we started, and like she wanted to carry on the family business, but not like more than that. She wanted to do it, just this complete, utter passion for it that has led her to want to learn more, even though she's already very, very skilled.
yeah.
We didn't really have voice actors to discuss in this episode per se, but just two that I wanted to mention who showed up briefly was a different actress played young Pinako, and that was Shelley Killeen Black. I butchered that name, sorry. But she's Yachi's mother from Haikyuu, the mother from Crave of the Fireflies, and Khalifa from One Piece. And then another actress played the young Trisha, but that was Tia Ballard, who also plays Xiao Mei, and we've already covered her.
Yep. Yeah, really not too much happened in this episode. But
Yeah.
I think I especially appreciated it. Like we've only been watching one episode a week. So it's been kind of nice to like see like, oh, this is how far we've come.
Yes.
And since I already know what happens in the next episode, I don't feel as much of a like, oh, I gotta watch it.
Yes, yeah.
But
Gives us more time to formulate our thoughts.
yes. Yeah.
Okay, so something fun we're going to do now that we've covered all that we wanted to cover. We are going to be taking 2 quizzes live for you all. We'll read off the questions and we'll say which answers we gave. And the first one is going to be, which Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood character are you from Playbuzz? And before we start, we're going to say which character we think we're going to get. So, Meg, who do you think you'll be?
Okay. I should have thought of this beforehand because I have no idea. I can't remember if we've talked about this before or not. I
Maybe a
feel like
couple
we
of
have.
times.
You have your answer.
Sort of. I'm going to give a soft answer. Alphonse. I relate to him kind of. Not completely, but a lot of similarities between him and me. Yeah. I could see you being Riza.
Yeah, okay. I think actually maybe that was one person that I had talked about.
Yeah.
Yeah, Riza. Maybe just because she is quieter, but she knows what she wants, and she's very loyal, which I would say that I am.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay. Question number 1. Which area of alchemy would you specialize in? Reconstruction alchemy, alkahestry, flame alchemy, or homunculus? That's not a form of alchemy, but that's an option. What's your answer?
Which one would, okay, I know which one I want to specialize in.
Just go with your gut.
Well, I feel like if I say this, then I'm just gonna get Roy, but I really like fire, so
Just go for it.
I'm gonna go with flame alchemy.
All right.
What about you?
For practical purposes, I'm going with reconstruction alchemy.
I know that's kind of like that's more actually alchemy would also be awesome because you can heal and like do long distance, which is kind of
yeah.
I as much as I love fire, I'm gonna go with alchemy because
cool.
I think that would be more useful in life.
All right. Question number 2. Which of the homunculus was your least favorite?
That's easy for you.
Yeah. Lust, sloth, wrath, envy, gluttony, or pride? Lust. Sorry.
I think I'm gonna go with gluttony just because he's so creepy. And as I've already talked about on the podcast, but he just like reminds me of like a clown. And I don't, and like I don't like that baby. He's like a baby, but then like also
He's
eats
a man
people. And I
child.
just like, yeah, I just like, I don't like it. I don't like it. So
Hmm.
I'm going with gluttony.
Okay. Question number 3. Another homunculus question. Which of these negative traits do you see most in yourself?
Oh
Envy, lust,
gosh.
pride, greed, sloth, wrath, or gluttony?
Ooh, okay. Um, they spelled wrath as
I know, they
wraith.
keep saying
So,
wraith.
yikes. Um, hmm, and that's hard. I'm between two.
Hmm.
So,
I think there's a lot I could say about pride or
mhm,
greed, but I think I'm gonna go with envy because I'm the type of person who, if I see someone doing something and I think it's cool, I'm like, I wish I could do that.
mhm.
And then I can, get down on myself for not knowing enough skills.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna go with pride.
Mm,
I think that's
I think
I
that would have been my
always just
second.
yeah, I feel like what do I say without making myself sound like a terrible person? Right, right.
It's easy
It
to overestimate your
yeah, like
abilities.
like in your head, like you secretly think that you're like the best person, even though you also know that you're not. And it's
You know what? I would say that's
it,
Edward's like pride and like Edward's not fatal flaw. I think he has other fatal flaws, but I think pride is what got him in this situation with trying to get his and
mhm.
Al's bodies back. Like him thinking, I know enough to do this thing to bring my
Yeah,
mom back.
and I think that's kind of me sometimes like, oh, I know
Mm.
everything, and then like I forget this one key thing and I'm like, oh, I'm stupid.
Aw. Okay,
All
here's
right.
the next question. Choose which words describe your personality the most. Option 1, strong-willed, empathetic, enthusiastic. Option 2, loyal, stubborn, strong-willed. Number 3, kind-hearted, patient, compassionate. 4, quiet, collected, serious. 5, confident, intelligent, self-absorbed. 6, brooding, protective, and compassionate. Or 7, silly, observant, and ambitious. Oh boy.
Oh, I know I'm saying this is hard.
Ugh,
Uh,
they shouldn't have given so much.
yeah.
I know what other people would describe me as, but they don't know my mind.
Yeah, I know, right? That's the thing is that like people say things about you and you're always like,
Yeah, because
sure.
for me, what I want to describe myself as is silly, observant, and ambitious. And to a certain extent,
Hmm.
I am those things. But I think the key parts of my personality that come through to other people, and this is the option I'm going to choose, is kind-hearted, patient, and compassionate.
Yeah, that's what I would choose for you. But also, honestly, silly, observant, and ambitious also fits really well. So I think you're good either way.
Okay,
Um,
I'm gonna go with the oh, you know what? Now that you say that, I'm going with silly, observant, and ambitious.
yeah.
Thank you for
I
choosing my mind.
this one's hard.
I
Mm,
think part of you is the quiet, collected, serious
I
type.
know that that was one of mine. I was gonna do that or loyal, stubborn, and strong-willed.
I like that one too.
I know, because I wouldn't say like I seem serious to
I
people,
think you can be
but
kind of goofy too.
I don't think I am actually.
Well, you were
Mm,
just saying how you're loyal, so I
I know.
think
I was like, maybe I should say that. I'll do that one.
okay, cool. All right, next question. Rate your temper from 0 to 10, least to most. So option was 2 to 4, 4 to 6, 6 to 8, 8 to 10. Oh my word.
um,
Uh,
I don't get angry that often, so I'm gonna be on the
yeah,
lower end.
I think I think I'm gonna choose 2 to 4 because I can get angry, but it never lasts very long.
Yeah, that's what I think I'm gonna go with too. I
All right, at least we
really
can
don't
agree
get
on
that
that.
mad. Yeah.
Takes a special person to get me furious, and by that I mean my brother. Okay, next question. What do you value the most? Family, peace, career/success, altruism, myself, or duty and responsibility?
Hmm.
I'm going with
I
family.
I know.
It's family.
It's between family or duty and responsibility because that could also fit with
With
like
family, yeah.
family.
I'm just gonna say family.
Okay. I don't care about peace. Okay. We were playing Would You Rather
Oh.
in a game and I was getting like the worst questions because one of them was like, would you rather get rid of all hate in the world or all hunger in the world? And
Ooh.
I said all hunger, and because, well, two reasons. One, it's good to hate some things. Good to
I
hate
guess
some
so.
things.
Yeah, that's a
And
good point.
also, like, I'm not a huge fan of like, oh, I want world peace. Like, I just like wouldn't necessarily say I'm a pessimist, but
That would be very
it's
hard.
yeah, it's kind of a
Yeah, well,
lofty, impossible goal. So,
although with
I mean,
that question,
so is like solving world hunger, but
right,
you
it's one
know,
of those beauty
it
pageant answers.
yeah, that's the thing is that like
World peace.
yeah, that's literally whenever I hear like that answer, and I always just think of like beauty pageants in my mind and just like
Yeah.
eye roll. So
I think,
anyway,
honestly, though, I probably would have chosen the other option to say get rid of hatred because my brain immediately thought if there's the absence of hatred, that means that love fills that void, hopefully. So if you have more love for people, then you want to share with people, and that leads to like helping with world hunger and all that stuff. So anyway.
yeah, I can see that, but nope, I'm solving world hunger.
Okay. That is also
Between
good.
us, we make a good team, right?
Cool. Yeah, we'll solve all the world's troubles. All right. Oh, this question is really good.
Oh
So,
wait,
what
okay, I
is
didn't
your...
answer yet.
Oh,
I
come
didn't
on.
answer
Hurry
that.
up. Chop chop.
I was thinking, okay, I'm gonna go with duty and responsibility because I think that
Okay.
encompasses family.
All right. So, next question, what is your D&D alignment? Lawful neutral, lawful good, chaotic neutral, true neutral, evil, or pure good?
Hmm.
I think I might just go with lawful good. Like, I would love to say chaotic good, but I like following rules. I like when, I don't know, laws
Mm,
are abided by.
same, but I always say I only follow a rule if it makes sense.
That's a good
So,
policy too. I'm just gonna
uh,
say lawful good because I think that 75% encompasses me.
mhm, yeah, yeah, but I won't necessarily say I'm chaotic. Maybe I'll
So you're
say
going for
maybe I'll say I'm neutral good.
okay, yeah. There's
I don't
some wiggle
know.
room in there.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with that.
Okay. All right, last question. Last one. Choose a color that represents you the most. So we've got red, excitement, passion, and romance. Blue, integrity, confidence, sincerity. White, hope, purity, peacefulness. Green, relaxation, growth, safety. Purple, dignity, wisdom, passion, vision. Pink, love, beauty, faith, romance. Or yellow, intellect, friendliness, joy, caution.
Mm.
Huh. Because if we're going with favorite color, I would choose pink, but this is about representing.
What? I didn't know. Wait, I didn't know your favorite color was pink.
How did you not know that?
You know what my favorite color is?
Blue?
Yeah, but have I ever told you that? I don't know if I have.
No, I just guessed. You seem like a blue person. Um, that came out wrong. You seem like the person who'd be drawn to that color. I'm surprised you didn't know mine because, like, all of my art club friends, I showed up with my pink winter coat and my pink backpack and my pink workout bag one day.
Yeah, I guess I don't know. Yeah, I guess I'm not
Well,
not very I,
you know
actually
what? Don't feel
that
bad
kind of
because
like tracks for me because like I could never tell you anybody's like eye color. So like I
Oh, okay.
don't really like notice that kind of stuff.
See, I'm a visual learner, so I think I do take notice of those things. But also don't feel bad because although pink is my favorite color, that's normally like my, I don't know, decorations or accessories. I normally wear blue, like blue
Hmm.
striped. shirts.
Yeah, I was gonna say like I mean, I definitely wear blue, but I don't like I wear a lot of pink because that's a color that looks good on me, but that's definitely like not my favorite color. So
Yeah.
I don't know. All right. I gotta pick one of these.
I'm between purple and yellow.
Okay.
I think I'm gonna go with yellow.
Uh,
Intellect, friendliness. The word friendliness caught my attention because I'm
mhm.
not exactly social, but I try to like greet people with a smile, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
And then the caution part
Mm.
at the end, that being tagged onto the end was very
See, that's the thing.
big
That's
for
the thing
me.
that's getting me because like yellow, I could do all those except for caution. I
Really?
don't think
Okay.
I'm like super cautious. I was thinking, yeah, either purple. I might do purple or green, but
Hmm.
mm, I'm gonna go with purple.
Okay, I'm gonna pick yellow and we'll click it in 3, 2, 1.
Voting.
Please don't be lost. Please don't be lost.
I don't think that wasn't one of the options.
Oh, hallelujah. Hey! Okay, who did you get? Who did you get?
We might have gotten the same person. I got Ed.
I did too. Okay, here's the description. Edward Elric. You are Edward Elric. Like Ed, you outwardly display an immature personality. With a remarkably stubborn and strong-willed nature, you act purely from self-interest. You may also have a quick temper and show an abrasive nature when people get on the wrong side of you. However, you have an unflinching loyalty and compassion for the few people who are important to you.
What the heck? How does that?
How
How do
did...
our answers? Because both of us were like, we don't get angry, and like we
Yeah.
picked like that doesn't make sense.
Okay, the only thing... Hmm. The only thing that tracks with me is you have an unflinching loyalty and compassion for the few people who are important to you.
Yeah, that's really the only thing.
I liked getting Ed, but reading the description, I'm not so sure now.
And
You
what
know
the
what?
heck? He doesn't
This
act
is
purely from
no,
self-interest.
he acts always for his brother or for the people around him.
I disagree.
Okay, this quiz is trash. On to the next one. Okay, so the next one is sort of
It,
simpler.
yeah.
It's from BuzzFeed, and it's are you more Alphonse or Edward? And before we start, I'm gonna go out on a limb here and say I'm more Alphonse.
Okay, well, for this one, since we only have two options, I would say that I'm probably more,
Edward.
yeah, probably
Yeah.
more Ed. So,
Okay. Yeah, all right. So it says, which Alec brother from Fullmetal Alchemist are you? Either way, you'll get a pretty bad alchemist. Bad in the good way.
yes.
All right, question number 1. Why would you want to study alchemy? To fight, to heal, because it looks cool, or for the sake of knowledge?
Hmm.
Oh no. My good answer would be to heal. I really want to click this answer is because it looks cool.
Then do that. If that's
Okay,
your
because
first instinct.
honestly, seeing it makes me want to do it. So that's
Yeah.
probably the same thing because it looks cool. What about you?
Hmm. I'm trying to decide between that or for the sake of knowledge.
Mm.
I do like to learn things just to learn. But I'm gonna go with that one just so that we're
Okay.
different.
Yeah. Question number 2. Whose transmutation circle would you use to crush your enemies? Roy Mustang's, Isaac McDougall's, who was the freezing alchemist, Alex Louis Armstrong's, or I don't need a circle, which is Ed.
I want
I
to
don't
go
need a
with
circle.
yeah. That was me too. Even though that means that we
Yeah.
maybe did human transmutation, but that's fine.
Okay. Next question. What is your relationship with your parents? Eh? We tolerate each other, pretty close, or they're the best? They're the best.
I'm going with we're pretty close. Sorry, mom and dad, if you're listening. Just kidding. Sorry that I didn't pick they're the best.
All right, next question. Which deadly sin would be your undoing? Lust, gluttony, greed, sloth, wrath, envy, pride, or none of them? Does that mean like which sin do you succumb to, or does this
Yeah,
mean like
I think so.
oh, well, I have to say envy again because I did last time.
Yeah, I was gonna say that or I might say I should say pride again, but gluttony
Yeah.
was also my second
Oh, yeah, you can go with it.
option because
But
like
no, wait, but that
I
means
tend
like
to
overeat, but you're skinny.
no. I consider gluttony not just eating, but like
I see what you
but
mean. I
also
see.
like just overdoing everything, like
Oh, okay.
going on TikTok and spending hours on there or like sleeping way too much.
Oh,
Like
okay.
things like that. I don't necessarily mean eating. Although that can be a problem sometimes, but yeah. You don't just because you're skinny doesn't mean that you don't eat a lot or eat too much. Okay, but I'll go with pride because I did say that before.
Okay. All right. Someone makes fun of you for being short. How do you react? You deck them? Who cares? Ask them to stop or tell them off. Uh,
Uh
I think my normal reaction, because I am short, is who cares?
yeah, that was my I also am short, so I would also say who cares? I don't care.
All right.
All
Next
right.
question. How far would you go to protect those you love? You would exile yourself, you would take a life, you would sacrifice yourself, or you would give up your powers.
I feel like all of these are
Uh,
pretty similar.
yeah. Except the
They're
take a
all pretty
life one.
yeah, that
Um,
one
I think I would say I would sacrifice myself. Like, if it ever came
mm-hmm.
to that in real life, I hope I would be brave enough to sacrifice myself. But
Yeah.
in the hopes that I would, I'll say that.
Is there like an all of the above options?
You know what?
Maybe
Sacrificing
not.
yourself might kind of be the all of the above, because
Yeah, that's true. That's true. All
yeah.
right, I'll do that then
All
as
right.
well. We're gonna get the same. We're gonna get the
We
same one.
are. Okay, next. If everything came crashing down around you, who would you turn to? Your friends, your siblings, your parents, or your mentors? I think I'd say my parents.
Mm-hmm. Same.
Okay.
Because in my personal experience, yes.
Yeah. Okay, I got my results. How about you?
So did I.
Okay.
I think we probably got the same person.
Alphonse?
Yep.
All right, Alphonse Zaruk. There's no doubt you share Alphonse's sweet and caring nature, but beneath that kind exterior, you're also deeply complex and fiercely devoted to the causes you care about. You also manage to keep your cool and maintain a warm optimism in the most stressful situations. People around you admire your sense of duty and attentiveness to those in need. Holy smokes, that sums me up more than the last one.
Yeah, this one definitely fits a lot better.
Yeah.
That's I'm sad about the other one. Why did we get the same person?
I
I
don't
sometimes like
know.
when I was younger, I would like take quizzes multiple times to like figure out if you could like get
To figure out the trick to it, yeah.
yeah,
That,
yeah.
huh.
Or like sometimes like there was some of those like you know that you would take be like just test your IQ or like see
Oh.
how many you get see how smart you are and like I did it sometimes or like no matter what you say you always get the same answer.
Right. There's
It's
like the one question that decides it all
mhm.
sometimes. But anyway, I mean, at least that was fun.
Yeah, it was.
And I didn't get lost, and that's all I was looking for.
You hate lust with a
Burning passion.
yeah.
Actually, I don't really hate her. I mean, I love her voice
You just
actress.
don't
She was a
like her.
formidable foe, but in the long run, she just made me uncomfortable every time she was on screen. Like, and not just her body type. I don't want to make it sound like I just hate, you know, her physical type, but just in the way she was so like
The way
seductive,
she like
femme
presented herself.
fatale. Yeah.
That's what you didn't like. Yeah, not the way she necessarily looked or
And
anything.
how she
Yeah.
straight up stabbed Havoc and ripped his heart out metaphorically.
Yes. Yeah. And
She liked toying with the humans.
yeah, which I don't like anybody that tries to do
No.
that.
Alright, well, I guess we will be back to our regularly scheduled episode format next time, but we also were planning on coming out with a bonus episode pretty soon for the new intro outro.
Yeah, I think this Friday.
Yeah, we should
Friday
have
that
it.
this
Yes.
episode's released. Yeah. All right. We'll be back next week with another episode.
All right, bye.
Bye.